Red leather, yellow leather.
Yeah.
We are back.
Fine. The best guest.
The guestest with the bestest.
Oh man. What's up,
Hey,
guys?
Nicko.
Hey, Nicko.
What up? You guys are making me blush already. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Nah.
Can't shatter the illusion.
Come on, behind the scenes. Oof. So we do a lot, and everything is revolved about just games. So me and the crew, Anthony, and Chris, we're both come from different perspectives, different areas. So our thing is use our differences to make a cohesive group to be able to, talk to everyone, have somebody who can like relate to in a group. So the whole first episode that we had, we were just joking in the fact that there's three different ethnicities. But on top of having three different ethnicities, we had three different areas that we came from. And that changed the whole feel of the podcast because instead of having one unique thing where it's like, oh, it's games.
What the hell, dude?
What is so unique about games, or what can games bring? But then it's all over the place. You have so many different branches that the game can branch off of. So if you look at games in one perspective, it's one thing. It's a game. But for other people, it branches out and it has so many different people that it touch in so many different ways. So how can we showcase that? So we all come from different areas. We all have different ages, and we started at different points in games where we have different views on the same game.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we tried to just like push forward and show everything that we can. Talk about it, chit chat, and just flow with it. So right.
You did have bad lipstick.
Yeah.
He's well, he's gonna have to take that up with your wife because I'm pretty sure she did your lipstick for that one, right?
Wait. It probably wasn't. It probably wasn't the fault of like putting it on. It was probably the fact that it was cheap lipstick. It probably wasn't her lipstick. Matt went out and bought cheap lipstick because he's a cheap dude. He's just in the bathroom with crayon, putting it on his lips.
You're pretty, Matt. You will be pretty.
I DP.
Oh geez.
Oh yeah, Steve
Yep.
Buscemi.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily that it was bad lipstick or it's just that I think that CJ King Animation just has a discerning eye for such things, and he was able to call you out on it. So
Oh yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know,
He has his ways of seeing details. So.
yes.
And he knew that you were a cheap bitch, Matt. You knew you were a cheap bitch.
His words, not mine.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Anybody watching can put this down in history. November 29th, Matt is a cheap bitch.
I mean, took us this long to get to this point. Why not?
That'll be in my Christmas cards to my family. Like, I hope you're doing well and everyone's safe. Matt's a cheap bitch.
I mean, we can start somewhere. I mean, we gotta start
All right,
out.
well,
somewhere.
Interventions are just really,
Intervention
really
happens
sad games, aren't they?
Yeah. So why don't we bring it back to Nicko? So Nicko, you mentioned you guys all have different backgrounds. What's your background?
So my background is I started gaming in Puerto Rico, and I lived and was raised there for 12 years. So I can't say that the country was a third world country while I was there, but it wasn't necessarily up to par to the rest of the United States, even though it is part of the United States.
Right.
So my background with gaming came from like inheriting a lot of the video games from the old era, from my parents and then my uncles. So my first gaming system was actually the NES. Even though I was born in 91,
Right.
I started with such a late system, which isn't too late, but it did come out in the 80s. And after that, I traveled back and I went towards like the Atari, the Sega Genesis, forward, back and forth. And it's because of everything I had was inherited from either my uncles or a family member that had that system already. Yeah. Okay. No, that game.
Rias heard that and he was in it. He
Yup.
was on it. Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. And
That's one thing. It's like the Save Before Quitting like project really started with Anthony. Like he has such a passion for video games, and even though he's been prior already with their own podcast with his brother, they've been doing that podcast for about a year. And it's very basic, like music, hip hop, and they have their stories. They follow that background. They're all from the area here in Philly is very musically like directed, especially in the Philly area. So they've been born and raised pretty much around music. So Aaron Ayo got the sauce, who made our beat for our podcast. He's a well-known producer and like he's been to ATL multiple times, done tons of like work. And his brother Anthony, he's pretty much a producer for for this project. And like this started like 3 years ago when I first met him on my first job when I first moved to PA. And like ever since then, it snowballed. We ended up getting super like blessed by having Chris because he's an amazing animator, a great artist. And like if it wasn't for him, honestly, all the art that we had for our podcast wouldn't be as great as it is. So it's like we've done so much collectively, like thinking, pushing, and like waiting for the right moment where we were just put in the same spot, in the same place to be able to push it forward.
right.
Oh, absolutely. Like
Yeah.
you could have seen Chris when we first put the channel up on Twitch. He was like streaming sometimes here and there, and he was there for like 2, 3, 4 in the morning, just streaming him creating that animation, and it looks amazing. It's great.
Right. Yeah, it does. The final product is awesome. You know, it really works.
Oh yeah. So we can't wait to see where it goes. But yeah, that was Chris. He was huffing it through the force, and then we actually just got the notification a little while ago that he finished it. So
Oh, really? And honestly, the story and the characters in that is phenomenal as well.
I might get that game just so I can get the the filled in on the Star Wars lore that I'm missing by not playing it. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Chris said he got lost in the game. And Dathomir.
Well, that's like the point of a game. Like if it's so big that you get lost in it, that is a good video game.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know?
absolutely.
Yeah, and Rice mentioned the best part is it's canon, so we can always like have that extra warm fuzzy. We're like, it's a great game and it's Star Wars canon.
Yep.
Yeah.
And before he shows up in every show possible.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah,
So-
like we were watching it, Chris playing it last night. I came in pretty late from the holiday, at my family's, and we were like setting up stuff, and we are like watching him play it. And like both me and Nicole were just sitting there, and we're like, yeah, we need to get this game and play it. So it's happening.
Pro gamer, yeah. So
Yeah.
so Nicko, talking about all these, how great this game is. Do you have like a favorite game style I like to go with? Like, I'm really into open worlds. Some people are really into like, first person shooters or, strategy games. Like, do you have one that you kind of land on that you like more than others?
Oh yeah. We touched on this with the guys at the cast, and like I went really in depth with it because we started talking about like the game dev. But the game that made me want to go into game developing was a turn-by-turn RPG named Legends of the Dragoon. for the
Legends of the
PS1.
Dragoon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Never heard
It
of
was
that.
it was one of the last games Squaresoft ever made for the PlayStation before they got bought out by Japan and they became Square Enix. And that game has so many memories. And not only that, it's like the style, the story, the fact that it was simple yet like complex when it came to the game mechanics that it had. It was a very unique game mechanic at the time when it came to like Final Fantasy or like turn by turn like Pokemon, where you kind of just point and click, choose your attack, and wait. They actually had added an extra step where you can still do combos and have that action feel while still play a turn by turn based game.
Okay.
And that was very unique for RPGs, especially in the PlayStation era, because there wasn't any. All of them were point, click, and wait. So, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I think role play games that are action adventure are my two niches where I kind of fall in.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you tried the new Baldur's Gate yet?
No, I have not. I've heard about it. I've heard great things about it. Not tried it yet.
Yeah, that looks like it's gonna be almost too much game for me, so I might have to.
That's another. Yeah. There's never such thing as too much game, though.
That's true. Like you'll just be like, I haven't heard from Jimmy in a few days, and I'll just be there like drooling on my couch, like it was
Dead.
too much game. Yeah, like
Just give up.
Rye said, "Oh my God, so good." So I'm guessing that he's tried out Baldur's Gate. That's
What
kind
is
of
Baldur's Gate, though?
Yeah, what is it? Yeah, what does it have? Because I've heard great things about it. I've seen some people like mention it and talk about it, but I've never really seen the gameplay. Never taken the time to look it up.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's Baldur's Gate 3. Honestly, I don't know a ton about like the gameplay, but basically it looks like kind of like you say, a role-playing game, but it's Dungeons and Dragons based. So one of the main videos I see keep popping up is the customizing of the character. So it looks like you can pretty much make it like your character is like entirely your own. I think that's one of the main things. And then I'm pretty sure it's kind of like you said, like semi-open world, semi-turn by turn based. Various quests, things like that.
I have to check that out.
It just came out.
Oh,
Yeah,
It's brand new.
and Ryan said that there is a ton of content in it. So yeah, definitely. I know. Well, that's like I said, that's my game playing style. I like something that's got like open world that's got just so much content. You can just keep checking things out and finding new things.
James is gonna be playing this. Go, oh no, I need to give them more money. This is too much game for what I bought.
Yeah.
There's an extra $60.
Yeah.
Listen, that's always a good thing if you have too much game for the amount you pay. You don't want to get screwed over like playing Destiny 2 and then saying this was $60.
That's true.
So.
Or what about the Order 1885?
1886.
1886. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I was super excited when that came out because I'm all about like the Victorian era supernatural combination, steampunk, Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes is my main jam, by the way. But yeah, so I was really excited when that came out, and then I found out it's basically one big cutscene with a few
wow.
like with a few like push button reactions, and it's like not even that good of a story.
Yeah, but the like the animation was really good, and I think that from what I heard, that's what the selling point was, that it was like kind of like an immersive movie, more like.
Plus, that was that was when PS4 just came out and it was exclusive to PS4, and that was when they were like, okay, our game systems are both pretty good, but look at this exclusive game that you get when you only buy ours. So, which is what they're doing again with PlayStation 5 and Xbox X Series. So
yeah.
Nice segue.
That's what I call a segue into our next topic called "Who will you piss off now, Xbox or PS4 players?"
I would have called it "Who's winning the console war," but yeah.
Nobody. We all lost.
Yeah, Chris got it. That Xbox ain't got games.
That's true. They've got. I'm assuming another Halo game, but yeah.
Well, not until next year.
Oh, okay.
That got pushed back.
Is Halo Infinite isn't just a repackaging of all the old Halo games. It is actually new content.
It is a new story. Well, a technical new story, but yes, you're playing as a new Master Chief, and I haven't looked too deep into it because I'm not the Xbox player in our crew. Anthony is, and he himself hasn't played too much Xbox, especially when it comes to Halo. Only like on the old Xbox he's played a lot, but
yeah. But chronologically, Infinite takes place after 4.
Yeah.
Halo wise. Halo wise.
Because
Halo wise, yeah.
I might just want to get into Halo because it sounds like it's got tons of lore and awesome like background that I want to learn about. Right.
Reach. No.
Griffball.
Yeah. You do it so you don't have to. You play games to not interact with human beings, not learn things.
It's like Rice is like, don't do it for the lore, but also Halo 2.
Sure.
Okay. Cause that's the only way. Background. I never had game systems growing up, so I'd show up to your guys' houses, and you'd be like veteran experts at these things. And the only way I could survive longer than 5 seconds was to troll and to spam.
The only games we had was like the Galaxy Pinball on our Windows.
The 2007. So. Yeah. So that's where we're coming from. We're late stage gamers.
And those old Disney games that were on like the discs, like the Aladdin games that we could play.
Those DVD games. Oh man.
Yeah. We could play those.
Yeah, so that's where we're coming from. Yeah.
They relived that whole like video game like thematic show with Carmen Sandiego.
Oh.
And Netflix had an interactive version of their show, which was really cool.
That was a thing.
Back as a little, hey, here's this.
Right.
Yeah, actually, that reminds me. What was the video game with the raccoon that steals stuff?
Slifer.
Yeah.
Sly Cooper. There's supposed to be a movie about Sly Cooper coming
Yeah.
out, but I saw the trailer and there's been nothing.
What they'll quick aside, what they'll sometimes do is that they'll make these trailers as basically test footage or proof of concept, and they'll get leaked, and that's what people will like see, and you'll be like, oh, there's going to be a Sly Cooper movie. I saw one that was like for an animated Popeye movie like 5 years ago, but turns out it was just basically test footage that got leaked.
Yeah.
That's that. To be fair, that's how Deadpool got made.
Who gives
but
a shit about One Piece?
One Piece. Oh no! Here we go.
They've never fucked up a live action anime before.
No.
Never. Not in a million years.
Unless you've watched that Netflix Death Note, and then you want to claw your eyes out.
Or the live action.
No,
A lot of people blame that on FedEx, or not FedEx, Netflix. Yeah, FedEx. You know, the movie industry, FedEx. But honestly, I watched the Attack on Titan, the live action that was made by the Japanese studios, and that was terrible.
So
That was horrible.
I think that so video games and manga / anime are just two things that don't translate well to movies.
especially when it comes to live action, because we talked about this because we were both talking about the new Monster Hunter movie.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't
And,
look.
like I'm a diehard for Johnny Lee, so I'm definitely gonna go watch it because he's in it
Yeah.
and his martial arts great. But
You mean Tony Jaa?
Tony Jaa, sorry.
Yeah.
Right.
That's okay.
But whatchamacallit, we were talking about how what's her name's in it, and it's
Mia
like,
Malkovich.
yeah, and it's
not-
just
It's
no, not Malkovich, is it?
Mia. I forgot. I forget her name.
It starts with an M and it's like very Russian song.
Yeah.
Let's take a look here. All right, but please continue.
But either way, we were talking about how like it's not gonna work well at all.
Yeah.
And like the only thing that catches my eye is like the monster looks cool and Tony Jaa's in it.
Yeah.
So I saw some information on it. There's only like 6 monsters in it.
Yeah.
That's
I
to
think
be
that's
fair.
enough, though, for
Yeah. Like you say, that's a lot of monsters for one movie. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they play it. If they've got Tony Jaa doing his, no wire, no CG stunt work,
Right.
then I'm in. Like
Yeah,
if he like freaking
Mhm.
like runs up and elbow chops a Rathalos, I'm sold. Like
Yeah.
take my money.
And Rhea says the biggest problem for him as a Monster Hunter fan is the real guns part.
Oh no, definitely. Chris had the same issue, and
Mhm.
I kind of understand it, but at the same time, yeah, I have a problem with it too.
But like, it's not like they have an infinite amount of guns and ammunition. Apparently, what it looks like is like a few people are sucked in
Yeah.
to the monster world, which
Like
I hate.
like an 80s kids show where they're like, let's play a video game. Whoa!
Oh, Masters
Yeah.
of the Universe did that.
or Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah. So
Monstars. I
the
like that,
bots. Oh yeah. One of our regulars, Cheddar, said, I enjoyed The Witcher on Netflix. That one is one of the only examples of video games to a movie that I can think of that I like, which is fair.
But that's a show that has takes the content and it kind of plays with it. Like, okay, we're not going to be able to fit this into an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Let's just make this an entire series.
And I don't want to be that actually guy, but
We're gonna
actually,
through it.
so it came like the content for that show came from the first Witcher novel, which was like a series of short stories, which So that and plus put Henry Cavill in anything, I'll watch it. But to
be fair, that plot is kind of all over the place.
all right,
Well,
let's.
I like the fact that the show had that. The reason why they used that plot is because they starboarded, so they weren't too sure how well it was gonna do. So in my intent, being a director, it's like looking at that. Even if it was a video game, it's like let me just throw a plot that's gonna hook someone in without telling the actual background of the characters, or if not a lot.
Right.
And then give you like a setting to where this place is gonna be. If we get enough audience, we didn't waste our time because we didn't tell a story that wasn't worth telling. But at the same time, if we do hook the audience, then now we have both backtrack time plus forward time to play with.
Right.
Fair. But at the same time, what I did really like about that is like it did tell the story in chronological order. Like you had to figure out that it was jumping all over the place. I like that.
Yeah, it makes you pay attention. So you said that in your experience as a director, like have you like are there other stuff that you like have worked on or that you look at for inspiration or things like that?
For inspiration, like for game dev, for inspiration to everything and anything is like a thing. So
Yeah.
looking at other video games, looking at movies, just looking at real life like situations too is also like one of the best experiences when it comes to like developing a game or even starting off a project. It's like everything starts out with a story. So like even for any game dev, for myself, I'm just learning the programming. So I'm kind of like the puppeteer of the whole story. But for me, basically, we have to learn how to read a story and understand what the reader is telling us, so that way we can create a world around it. So like
Right.
if I read books and such, which I have been, and I've been reading stories and such, all of those stories I can finagle a way to turn it into a game and then make it interactive where it sucks the player in just like it would a reader.
Right.
Right.
So yeah, so it's like playing with the imagination, like playing with the player's brain to create or put them in a situation where hey, you're living the book now. Not only are you reading it and imagining yourself what you would do in that position, whilst getting the answer in the next page, but in reality, you're getting put in this position. You have to create the answer for the next page.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of like the basic of any like dev and Ryu said it for D&D. It's like any game master or any DM master would know how to incite the player to make them do certain things or give the player enough freedom to make the things they want happen and then push them to do so.
Well, in your by that, would side characters be just as important as like the main characters? Because, you know, like these worlds do need to be filled with something. How do you incorporate these like side characters and NPCs?
Sorry, just give me 1 second here.
Sure.
No, it's okay.
I am trying to do something here. Okay.
I guess
No, I don't want you to answer my question. I don't want you to answer anything. You stupid.
I have a thing here going on my settings.
No,
that's
it's okay. Yeah.
Well, here's
Yeah. The last.
Yeah.
that'll make us sound unprofessional.
Yeah, the last guest that we had on, Justin Gregory and his fiance, they were so he had some really interesting things to say, but unfortunately, the internet just was not. The internet gods were not in our favor at all on that one.
But
Yeah, we have to get them back just to make up for the terrible it was.
repeat the question there because I was.
Yeah, so I was just like, for writing as a director, side characters or NPCs, how important do you think they are to a story, and how do you incorporate them into the world?
For NPCs are very important, and like when it comes to directing the art form, it's like how much can you put in and how much can you leave out without losing the sense of the story. So when you're doing side characters, there's always a way you can tell by what that side character does within the story. Like if you're putting a player in a position where they have to figure out a puzzle, and within the book of the story, the side character is the one that finds the answer that feeds it to the main character, then you would take that side character and just remove him.
Right.
Why? Because you want to make that player, or you want to make the player find the answer. So instead of adding a person who tells you, hey, this is the way, you give the player enough information within the area that they're on to be able to make that puzzle be solved by them. So like if you give them enough clues, then the player can figure it out. And even if you don't give them enough clues, they can still have a sense of direction of where to go.
So you gotta make it complex so that it's fun, but general enough that anyone can play it and still come out successful.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It all depends as well, like on the thematic of the story. Like if you have let's say, just to take a simple puzzle, you have 3 keys and only one of them open a door, but then you have 4 doors. So it's like you got to give the player enough context to, all right, out of these 4 doors, 3 of them house monsters, but 2 out of the 3 keys will open the monster doors. But that third key would open any door.
Okay.
So,
We already- Oh, careful, Matt. We already have a dungeon master. Okay.
yeah, I saw that. By the way, I saw you guys' episode on that.
Yeah. Quick side note, because we're mentioning like NPCs and stuff like one fun thing that Drew does, our the DM from our Dungeons and Dragons episode, is that he'll have multiple campaigns going on, but he kind of Avengers it, where each campaign is like part of this sort of extended universe, and you kind of like, if you play multiple games with him, you kind of get to be like, oh, I recognize that. Oh, I recognize that. So it's fun. Everything is new and different whenever he plays a new adventure, but you get to kind of look for the Easter eggs, which is always fun too.
And that's a recurring theme to like a lot of games. Like if you look at Doom Eternal now, if you look at all the stories of how Doom started, Doom is actually connected to like a really old like 70s game for the computer. I forget the name of it, but it's connected to that by no means only in the fact that it's in the same world. How do you know that? There's like this one little Easter egg in Doom. I think the name was 1876 or something like that, back in the 80s when it was released, and it just kind of just adds it in for 2 seconds, and you're like, if you've played that game, you would be like, I know that guy, and why is he in there 30 years later in a Doom game? And then you're gonna end up going back and looking into it and be like, oh yeah, it makes sense.
Right.
Really? Huh.
Yeah.
That sounds adorable, first of all.
Yeah. And like I also saw like in there are Easter eggs in Fallout and Skyrim and the Elder Scrolls that they're all okay, Matt, what I want you to do is shove it up your butt, all right? Take your attitude and shove it up your butt. Shove it.
Okay.
Oh my god. Okay, anyway, Fallout the Fallout universe and the Skyrim universe apparently take place in the same like world at different times.
Right.
Huh.
Yeah, so like there's like Easter eggs for all that as well. And the Fallout universe takes place in like Tamriel's world after like a big cataclysm. That's why magic and weird stuff happens, is like resurging.
Okay,
after the fact.
so it's kind of like Adventure Time, but Fallout world.
Correct.
So
You got it.
CJ,
Also, One Piece sucks.
all right,
Get it.
CJ King just said that Stan Lee cameos in D&D sounds dope, and I can't stop thinking about it. Like you go into the tavern and it's Stan Lee behind the counter. He's
Well,
like,
what do you want?
"Hello,
kid?
hey there, heroes. What'll it be? Excelsior!"
That would be the best.
Yeah, and then or make it Gary Gygax,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or like it'd be funny if like you like fight various like increasingly more powerful deities in D&D until finally you get to the most powerful one, and it turns out to just be like a cloud with Gary Gygax's face on it, and he's the most
The most
thing.
powerful
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Hello, true believers. That's good.
Point on the doll where Reaper shot you, okay?
CJ King said I may win a. Yeah. Hey Matt, remember when you said that I just spam and troll when I play video games? It's me. I play Reaper. I'm the guy. I'm the one that
Oh,
did it.
I
damn.
watch you do it every time.
Because I troll. No, I'm just kidding. I haven't played Overwatch yet. But yeah. But that would like don't fear the Reaper. Like, oh, this is awesome. Stan Lee's in my campaign. He's going to be here. Gets discussed in a show. Erases. Oh yeah, that's right. You
Oh no.
can't discuss Stan Lee because it's a trademark or whatever. But we're gonna do it anyway.
True.
Yep. So
We're just not showing his name. We're spelling it very differently when we say it.
we're not saying stuff like Stanley. Yeah,
Please,
yeah.
please stand. There you go.
No, we're saying Stans Lee.
No, Stan. Like it's what like the name Stanley. That's what we were saying the whole
Stanley.
time.
Stanley.
Yeah.
Flat Stanley. Flat Stanleys.
Okay. We're losing money every time we say that name. Can we please stop?
Disney's just gonna come after us.
But you guys are getting paid? Hold up. You guys are getting paid?
Matt, we dock you a paycheck every time you mention One Piece, so you actually owe us money. That's not part of our deal.
This is a video game themed show we're doing, so it's
Yeah.
on point.
It's
There you go.
Yeah. So
Jump Force
Let's-
doesn't count though.
is Jump Force the one where it's multiple anime characters fighting against each other? It's basically the video game version of Anime Wars.
Yes, I did it. What, Goku?
Xenoverse.
Xenoverse was
Xenoverse. That sounds
the
familiar.
most recent one. I
honestly.
think it was Kakarot.
Dragon Ball Fighters. Yeah. Okay.
Fighter Z. Okay.
He's got it.
Yeah, Fighter Z actually was a pretty good game. I gotta say. My favorite still gotta say is Budokai 3, but Fighter Z, yes.
What's the one where it's basically a fighting game and it's kind of like Soul Calibur in that it's more like Soul Calibur in that you get to like do a full like 360 movement, but you
would
can
be
also like fly.
Budokai, yeah, that's the
That was
Budokai.
yeah. I played that. I thought that was awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and like
Definitely.
there was one move like your character can hide from the other player, and there's one move that you can press like if you can't see the other player, you like look around and then you see him and you get like an anime close up for a second,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, I thought that was a nice touch.
Yeah, that was pretty neat. Budokai was one of my favorite fighting games when it came to that too.
Yeah.
DBZ.
Plus, it's not just like 360 like walking. You can fly, so it's complete.
You get like complete
complete movement,
world,
yeah.
Perspective. But
I'm not good at fighting games. I'm just like I'm not that coordinated enough, so I just like mash the buttons. Yeah, because those two things are exactly the same. you know?
I personally don't see the difference.
Get
Dude,
over here. Okay.
just following the same logic, I won the FIFA game, so I'm gonna compete in the World
Yeah.
Cup soccer next year. Or yeah.
I beat Surgeon Simulator, so I technically have a doctor now. I have a doctorate now, so
King said button mashing is real fighting, probably works slow. He's got a good point. Like if you're in
I
a
just
fight and
go
you
in
punch
swing.
somebody and it works, it's like I'm gonna try some other new
because-
combo.
you guys remember the old and good days of Marvel vs. Capcom?
Oh yes.
Where literally any button mashing you would do would do a freaking combo. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Yep. Infinite
Oh, no.
infinite leg sweeps. Or like yeah, or like what was it? What's the DC fighting game? Injustice
Injustice.
with Aquaman, like cuz he's got the trident that just
Yo, Matt,
Hey,
Chris is CJK is calling you out by wanting to show off your sweater.
it took you a while to read that, my dude. So I have an honest question. Berries to dollars. How? Yeah. How
What?
much?
Berries to dollars? Question mark.
Berries to dollars.
Or is it like yen? Because yen, like 100 yen is $1 in the United States.
So like we 100,000. So like
4 million yen would be like $400,000. That's much less.
Yeah.
Well, of course, this is like in the 1800s as well.
That's true.
So the exchange rate.
But they also have modern technology sometimes? Question mark.
Sneakers.
Frankie.
Yeah.
Yeah, suits would exist.
Stretchy arms. Yeah. Okay, let's this is a rabbit hole which we don't have time for. Let's bring it back. Let's ask Nicko a question because he came all the way to the Zoom meeting to be on our show and get asked questions.
One Piece? Yeah, I kind of like One Piece. Yeah, I like One Piece.
He's on the fence. He's on the fence at most, okay?
Okay,
No, I definitely like One Piece. I haven't played its standalone game, which was released I think earlier this year or last year. But I haven't played its standalone game just to be able to like 100% fully enjoy. But as for the anime, yes, I really do. I like One Piece.
Right. All right. Well, he's being honest, he's being truthful, and we respect that.
I don't.
Well,
I don't respect that at all.
I also have a million other animes that I watch, so it's like, I'm on the scale of my favorites, not up there, but I do it.
Right.
Yeah, Jimmy put us back on track. You brought us off track again.
Let's try not to actively derail the entire podcast, shall we? Okay.
Uh-oh. If you say Nintendogs, I'm coming over there and beating you.
Okay. But how do you really feel about it?
Yeah.
No. It's just a running joke between me and CJK. We had a full-on rant of like how we both kind of, sort of, not really hate Nintendog, but really do.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Nintendo.
Yeah.
Riot said 100% Star Wars Republic Commando.
Oh, that is a good game.
Yeah. All right.
Oh yeah. What's your game, Matt? Okay. Mhm. Okay. Oh yeah, absolutely. Now, I was looking at the cover because I was like, MDK2 sounds familiar. I was looking at the cover and I was like, yep, it's BioWare. It is a very good game. For the comic, the gameplay was unique to its own, and just it was an overall fun game. I think it is a bit underrated, especially at the time that it came out. There was so many other games that came out that just overshadowed it. But yeah, I think it should get like a revisit from BioWare at any time. You know, if they were to any time revisit a game, I'd say they should revisit that. Yeah, they were bought out by Microsoft now, I think.
Mm.
Oh, jeez.
Everything about what you just said just sounds straight up made up. I think you just made this shit up.
I was gonna say it sounds.
It's
If Raya says it, Raya should just go full on. What are you talking about, Matt? This has never existed before.
Well, do you, do you guys have like that show or that video game or something that
Yeah.
you had from your childhood that you're like, was that real or did I just fever dream that? Because I haven't seen like references to that in
like
since.
every childhood show ever.
Yeah.
It's like that.
oh yeah, absolutely. The one game that I could say is Psychonauts.
Psychonauts.
Yeah.
It sounds familiar.
I'm gonna take a look at this. What's that one about?
It was very much a Ratchet and Clank type game. So it was like a beat 'em up side 3D game. I think it was
Right.
for the PS1 first or the PS2.
I think I remember this coming out. Yeah.
Yeah, and like it was so underrated because there were so many kids who were like, "Yeah, let's play it," and they bought it because it was so like childlike for the game and the just the character creation. But then there was like characters in there that were just outright just mother effing the hell out of the whole game.
Right.
So these characters were just going off and popping off, and they were just like so like they literally lifted their name of being just psychos.
Yeah.
And it was just so funny, and the whole thing was comedic. There was so many things about the game where you would do something thinking was the correct answer, and it wasn't, but you still got like through it for whatever reason.
Right.
You were like, how did this work and why? But you never got an answer why.
Right.
So, but yeah, that. I think that's one of those games where I was like, did this really come out? Did I really enjoy this game? Did I really play
Real.
this game?
Was this like a Jumanji that only I remember happening?
Yeah. Yeah, that definitely was
Right.
one of those games of like, oof, I really did play that game.
Yeah. Yeah. It was yeah, Matt, what was your original question? Like a game that got underhyped and you think
Underhyped.
needs more love. Okay. All right. Yeah, Jarrett, what was yours?
I don't really have one. I mean, we don't. Matt, shut the fuck up. Sid, play a game called Matt Shuts the Fuck Up, and I
Yeah.
would love for you to win that one.
It's called Mom.
There's so I guess like my brother and I said, like, we didn't really grow up with video games, so like everything I've been playing lately has been fairly standard. I mean, Fallout New Vegas is my favorite game. Matt, he's shutting the fuck up though. That's good.
He's gonna go off screen to finish
Yeah.
his bang by shotgunning it.
Yeah, he's such a tough dude. He's gonna finish off this bang. But Sunless Sea probably needs more hype. That's a really fun game. It's an RPG. There's not a lot, but it can get kind of stale sometimes.
Mhm.
But as far as the lore and the gameplay values, it's awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd say mine would be Stronghold Crusader 2. So
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's the
so-
game. Wow,
so,
that's
like-
a game I haven't heard in a long time.
yeah, Crusade, like Stronghold Crusader, as you guys know, came out in like what 2003 or something. You know, back at the dawn of time, and then Crusader 2 came out, and it's pretty much the same thing, but with way better graphics and better gameplay, and it just kind of like whoop, flew under the radar. So Oh yeah, yeah,
Oh man.
yeah. Rias is like, oh my god, shit, because yeah, that was his game. So basically, the first one to build a wall and not get destroyed is like
The winner.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Real micromanagement.
Yeah.
You were about to say the Civil War. Back in the Civil War when we had a
Yeah, right.
king. Yeah. Yeah.
Just always assume your popularity is falling. That goes for real life. It goes for Stronghold. It goes for everything. Rias keeps. I think this is the second time I've said it. Star Wars Galactic Battlegrounds. Have you guys ever played that one? Because I don't think I have.
I've actually have not played that one.
No.
Yeah, I'll probably check that out. Yeah, like our running joke is like often we like shoot games at each other. Like
Yeah.
me, Chris and Ant, we'll just keep shooting games at each other. Like, hey, have you played this? Have you played that? And we're like, no. So like Ant's catchphrase has turned into, guys, we play games in this podcast. Trust us. There's just so much out there. There's just so much out there. It's like
yeah.
like exploring. It's.
I mean, that's another point I wanted to bring up. Like, with the amount of like content these modern games have, like, how can you feasibly go through one game and then other games? Like, like a gaming podcast, like you literally can't hit all of it. I mean, even the games like in the past.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's why like I was looking a lot into what games have turned into in the new era. So like looking at games looking at companies like Insomniac Games, they have been notorious of making, well, currently with the last two Spider-Man games, they have been really concise of making a short game that gives you lots of content but feeds it to you so quickly you want more.
Okay.
So
That's
like
interesting formula.
Chris is probably gonna flip out about him playing Miles Morales and beating it like twice. And like figuring out about playing Spider-Man now and not knowing if he wants to either platinum it with his old save data or the new one. But it's the fact that there's just so much content and so much to do and so little time that it keeps you so engaged that like you want more. You always want more. And that's how they hook you. So like you have developers like Square Enix who stay to the truth where they're like, hey, there's a 70-hour game. Good luck playing through that while we work on Final Fantasy VII for another 15 years. But,
Right.
But they give you content in the fact that you can have fun throughout the entire game.
And there's also the replay value as well.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know, I brought up the Warhammer 2K.
Warhammer 2, Total War.
Yeah, Total War.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many races you could play as and doing multiplayer. There's a lot of like you could feasibly beat the game, but you have so much more you can do.
Oh, yeah.
Even playing as different lords at each one of those races.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, it's it depends on like what you want for your gaming experience, whether you're like, you know, goal oriented, you know, like you want to beat the game, you want to do it competitively, or you know, like me, it's like, okay, I've got some time to kill. I'm going to see where this cave leads and try out every single different thing. Yeah. So, yeah.
Life kind of started a while ago. We're still playing through it. I went through the DLC college and it sucks, and I don't know what I'm doing afterwards.
Yo, Sims 4 is looking pretty bleak right now.
Oh,
It's pay to win.
it is. You buy loot boxes from Amazon, but
My
Yeah.
avatar is always tired. He's always just going to the bathroom. I don't even know what he's doing. He looks like a loser.
you-
Sorry.
you-
Yeah.
Well, we've had a problem with EA trying to shove microtransactions into everything.
right, but
'Cause
they
they're
got. No, sorry, go ahead.
because I wanted to just say like we were talking about like in the like before on cams, we're talking about how certain games are like free
Mhm.
and they give you such a good like experience that you end up spending money, but you know what you're buying is cosmetic, so that way you can just show off. So you have
Yeah.
games like like League of Legends, you have Valorant, you have Overwatch, Apex. All of these games you can literally just buy stuff, but they're all cosmetics. It doesn't change the game, but it
Right.
puts the player on spending money. Now EA wants to do that, but the only thing is they forget the fact that you have to make a good game first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Okay, Chris, Genshin Impact.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So
Right.
CJ King just said, "Do I hate loot boxes? Yes. Have I spent over $100 on cosmetic junk to look pretty in a game? Also, yes."
Oh, I can't. I gotta spend that money for the expensive lipstick.
So
now.
like if you people spend exorbitant amounts of money for a good game, but
Yeah.
you have to, like you say, you have to put that out there.
Oh
Right.
yeah, absolutely.
As soon like EA puts out loot boxes for a shitty game, everyone knows about it. You know, everyone knows it's a bad game and stuff. And there's always the fight over whether or not loot boxes are gambling. You know,
Yeah.
it should be regulated as such.
Yeah. So I got kind of a broad question about that. So first of all, EA got slapped for loot boxes because it's technically gambling, and there was lawsuits about it. And you have games like you say, like Fortnite, Fork Knife, which you want to see the 12-year-old freak out, call it Fork Knife. So you have games like Fortnite, which are, like you say, completely free, and people love it. So do you? I'm kind of guessing that the whole loot box thing is kind of a failed experiment at this point, because you can really get by without it.
Yeah,
and
but people, but it only takes a very few amount of people to spend thousands on loot boxes.
Yeah.
That's who they're going after. They're not going for somebody
Yeah,
like
that
us.
was. I think that's the first time that I've seen where the microtransactions is in control.
Mhm.
So like when it comes to like League of Legends and Valorant and even Riot Games and Overwatch, not Overwatch, but Apex, it's like you can spend money on the game for cosmetic things, but you're getting that specific thing you want.
right,
While where you're playing loot boxes, like yeah, it's a small microtransaction of like $100, or you're doing less than that. You can get a chance to get something that's great, or you can get a chance to get something that you already have, which is kind of crappy. Now, League of Legends, I've thrown so much money into it. Like we were doing the math, and it's like they have 120 characters, and I particularly have minimum of like 4 skins per character. You get 2 free with the character, so you're technically getting 2 skins per character, and then the minimum that my character skin may cost is like $6 to $15, but you're getting that specific skin. So yeah, I spend tons of money on League of Legends for like just visual things.
Yeah.
But in reality, I'm okay with it because I got what I wanted. It's not like I spent that amount of money and still haven't gotten what I wanted.
Right.
So it's like if they have learned to just, hey, let's give them the control of buying what they want, but give it a set price instead of making it a quote unquote part of the fun game of, let's say if you're lucky enough, that's just them ripping you off.
True. Oh, yeah. So CJ King also brought up. I found this out before we started filming. Rest in peace, David Prowse. The guy, David
Yes.
Prowse. Yeah. So, yeah, he was the guy who played who physically played Darth Vader, and of course they, dubbed his voiceover.
Yep.
And yeah, but so he was a bodybuilder, and he's been in he was like in some other movies and stuff you might recognize him from.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he died at 85 yesterday. So he will rest in peace, man. Yeah.
All the love.
Yeah.
He literally made Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't find out that like for forever I thought, like the very last shot when they take Darth Vader's helmet off and it's the actor whose name I can't recall right now, but he was like an actual like stage actor. He was very good. I for years thought that that's who was under the Darth Vader suit. And then like I found out that it was actually like an actual 6'6" like bodybuilder guy. And I was like, I don't know why, that just make it like knowing that it's like a big strong guy underneath there makes that villain even scarier.
And then somebody else did the voice for him. So then somebody else played him in the prequel. So about 4 people.
And Bob Anderson stood in when he was doing sword fights, late saber fight scenes in the second movie. So
yeah. Darth
Vader himself is a composite of multiple actors and voices, but David Prowse was, yes. So yes, so rest in peace, David. You brought a lot of joy to a lot of people and
a lot of terror as well. That's the point.
Yes. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Look, Chris brought up a good point. They did the same thing with Manda.
Yeah.
No, don't spoil it.
Honestly, the thing that grinds my gears about The Mandalorian, that's what the sequels should have been. Just like The Mandalorian. Fuck Rey, fuck everything else, just make like that.
But
I can see that being like a really good RPG, like third person shooter.
Yeah.
And but the thing is I want the same guys who worked on Jedi Fallen Order to do that game.
No, it's Red Dead Redemption in space.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So like part Battlefront, part Red Dead, part No Man's Sky.
Yeah. I'd give it No Man's Sky.
Yeah, mix it together, let it sit for 2 hours, bake it 365 degrees. We got a movie.
We'll get
got a game.
Let it sit for 2 years, plus another 2 years to push back every time they have to push back the release date, and then another year for them to work out all the bugs once they release it, and then boom, good game.
Yeah. The whole sequel trilogy needs to be rewritten, though.
Yeah.
Rewritten.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is a rabbit hole.
This is a rabbit hole, yes.
It's okay. We got it.
We already got the chat blowing up on my side here, my dudes.
Yeah, the chat's going nuts.
Fans.
Okay. We're starting to run over time here, so why don't we bring it back to game?
I thought you were going to say another 15 hours. Another 15 hours. It's going to be an all-nighter. Woo!
Woo! Oh no.
Yeah, did you know they made a Star Wars movie based off the skins on Fortnite?
Yep. They
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Also,
Kids today.
speaking of Star Wars games, how is Squadrons? Has anyone played it yet?
I have not. I've heard great things of it and bad things of it. It's like
originally I thought it was going to be bigger dogfights, but it's just a 5v5, which is still pretty cool, but I heard it's still kind of small compared to what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm a little confused. Has it been released yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Month,
Yeah.
I think. Month, I think.
CJ King Animation just said it went on sale for $17 on Black Friday. That kind of says a lot. Yeah. Riot says
Oh, yeah.
he'd rather play TIE Fighter.
Or play the ET the movie video game.
The what? Oh god! You have to go to the desert and find it first.
Or Friday the 13th, the video game.
Dude, how?
That game got so much clout. It was actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
Like it was. It was a good game though. Like for being a multiplayer where you have a killer and a few hunters. Like that's the kind of game that like we now enjoy by playing Among Us.
True.
Yeah. Maybe what we could do is like a special event, play the original Friday the 13th video game at the place where they filmed Crystal Lake.
Yeah.
Like do just like an overnight thing.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
But we gotta find like an old tube TV from the 80s with like the little dials and
Oh,
bring the extension cord out to the dock on the lake.
Yeah. Apparently, I think Crystal Lake is a real lake, but they have a actual statue of Jason Voorhees at the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Really?
Okay. Yeah, could you imagine how terrified the first person like to find that was? Like, yeah. a bunch of assholes sitting in the bushes just snickering to themselves. Oh my god, I can't wait.
I can see the person who put that statue in there just sitting by the lake going, let's see who's gonna get scared first.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If I was like scuba diving and I saw that thing, I would like shoot up and like breach like a whale or a dolphin and like that's how like no
do like a Scooby Doo run on the water.
Or yeah, I'm imagining like those lizards that like run on the water and they've got like that weird kind of like sideways running.
Yeah.
Like that's how I would be. Yeah. Yeah. Again, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. We keep coming back and forth. Sure. Yeah, we have like I said, like we're kind of, if you see the mess behind me, we have a bit of work going through trying to make a studio where we'll have like some filming, maybe we'll get some actual Twitch going on. We're gonna be doing a lot of video capture and like reviews and such. We actually have a show coming up. We're gonna set it up on Twitch to do a reaction to the Video Game Awards coming up next week.
Nice.
So yeah,
Nice.
so anyone who want to catch us do the reaction, we're gonna be recording it. Maybe take the best of the best reactions, and then we're gonna be playing a little bingo game where this past episode we went through what we thought was a great game, what wasn't a great game. We did our voting on the website, which you guys can go in and do it on the Video Game Awards website, and then we're going to get, like Chris said, excessively alcoholed because we're gonna take whatever game we thought was gonna win, and then whatever game actually won, and compare it to what we voted for, and if it does not match, we'll take a shot. So yeah. Yeah, so we're gonna be doing that. It's gonna be pretty fun. So we're turning the house into a studio, getting some recording going. We'll be live. Well, we have been had the podcast live on YouTube for a few days now. It's gonna get updated one day after the podcast on all our stream sites, and it's gonna have our beautiful CJK animation intro going on, playing on that, and then we'll be doing more regularly Twitch streams as we go, and then see where the project takes us.
All right.
Nice.
No, we don't have a Facebook. We do
Yeah,
have,
that's like the base.
no,
That's like the
we do have an email. You guys can hit us up. Anyone in the chat can hit us up at Saveb4quitting at gmail.com, all spelled out, and then look us up on our Twitter, Instagram, and everywhere else for Saveb4quitting or Save B4 letter B number 4 quitting. And yeah, I saw it, but it's okay. But yeah,
All right, and your podcast, Quit Before Saving.
quit before saving. Yes,
For saving.
just as good as nerdy area 1.
Yes.
Dirty.
But,
Now, there's now
Yeah.
now the knockoff websites are going to be getting a ton of traffic.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
yeah. All right.
Yeah, so we'll be having a lot other content. We're just kind of building up little by little. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Being a jerk. Yeah. Anime.
What is it? What
That's
is it?
it.
What
End
is
of
it, Matt?
list.
I don't know what it is.
It's One Piece. End of list. That's it. That's your MO. You got a doctorate in being a One Piece fan. Thank God you're.
But yeah, we have the same feel. Like
Yeah.
my thing is video games, game dev, those tech questions, just huge, just main overall anime, video games, and just deving. Then you have Chris with this like amazing collection of figures. You've probably seen it if you guys check up on our YouTube. We have a little video comedy skit that he created, showcasing a lot of his figurines. And if you like to talk about sweaty man in a ring, he's your guy as well. He's a huge wrestling fan.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Anthony's all about music, video games. Like he's played everything and anything. His world, I would say, for my perspective, is revolves around indie games. He's like the master of that. Like he really enjoys playing a lot of indie games, and I learned a lot of indie games from him. So, but yeah, but yeah, it's a trip working with the guys and doing it all together. And like you said, it's like content creators that they gotta get together and create something that's massively huge, or be able to just make something that's great and then just pull other content creators in and just work together.
Right.
So yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hate. No, it's not a rivalry if you suck, okay? I know you do. I've met me. I'm awesome. I know you would love me. I love me.
Jared's a bit of a textbook sociopath.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh
you.
man.
Ranting at the Robot sounds like a dive bar.
Oh yeah,
That
the
does-
ranting
yeah,
robot.
that
That
sounds
sounds like a
No, ranting at the robot, and it's a drunk, and the sign is like one of those old style like pub signs. It is a guy yelling at a robot.
but it's like in like the neon grunge of Blade
Yeah.
Runner world.
Exactly. It's like the seedy underground for nerds, you know, and the geekdom.
All right, get Hollywood on the phone. We're selling this script to them. Okay.
Exactly. If I knew who those people were, that'd be the perfect matchup.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 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 Yeah.
There
Yeah,
we
that's
are.
it. That's all it is. Just having a little bit of drive and pushing forward, and that's just the fun of it. It's like as long as you do it for fun, it's
Yeah,
always gonna succeed.
exactly.
So.
Yeah. And oh, I was just gonna say, can't wait to see your guys' content. I'm definitely gonna be watching the live stream when you guys do the Game Awards. Can't wait to
Yeah.
listen to more of your podcasts.
Yeah,
Can't
yeah,
wait to
no,
see.
definitely.
I can't wait to see how many shots you guys do. You know.
Well, we're gonna buy what bottle we like and to enjoy, and then we'll see what we can do to last through.
Right. We may all end up
Yeah.
voting like for each category. We're gonna vote for ET the game, just so there's excuse and like.
Yeah, we're gonna skew the awards so much that they're all gonna be ET, the
Oh,
extraterrestrial, the movie.
Yeah, all right.
Good.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, and of course we could try to get that dueling tournament together because that's gotta be a.
that's gonna be a thing, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I gotta unearth that thing, Matt. You gonna let me unearth that thing? I gotta find it.
It's time to duel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I would like to do that. We're starting up slow. We did some collabs with a lot of other guys, like
Mhm.
Chris met with the guys from Haptic Intel, and they got together. It was another small group from PA. They had a show for a while, and then they had to stop, but they started up again. So if you want to check them out, they play with Chris, and they were playing Phasmophobia. And
Oh, nice.
Chris was supposed to be the tech guy and Skirty Cat. So yeah, just watch that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, but yeah, we're working with a lot of stuff, and Anthony works with Oxcord, and like I said, he has his other podcast, which is
Okay.
very music related, and even those guys have their own views on video games. So we've getting a lot of questions from them, and
Right.
it's just great to see, not just video gamers and nerdy like people falling into that, but it's just the word nerd like you guys have. It's like it means so much more now than it used to.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you can be a nerd of anything, like whether it's music, whether it is sound, whether it's art, whether it's anime, video games. It's just nerd to me in particular with the crew. It means literally anything that you like and you want to explore and push forward and support.
Right.
That's what it
There
is.
you go.
Yeah.
Right. Oh jeez.
Yeah.
And here yeah.
And then we did actually buy the compound next to Area 51. It's very small, so that's where we actually are right
it's-
now. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're actually still trying to clear out the Naruto runners from last raid. They're really hard to catch. They're just like little jets. They are.
I hired a few of them as security. So, like if there's an intruder, I'm like, Actun, attack, and they pop out of smoke and then attack people. Yeah, all them shadow
I
globes.
didn't know we hired them, so it was when the cops came, it was a bad deal.
Oh yeah.
Oh jeez.
Oh, don't worry,
Should've
I don't
looked for
pay
that
them. It's an internship. So it's an unpaid internship. It's college credits.
They get paid at Pop Tarts.
It's
Yeah.
college credits and a thank you note.
They're doing the college at TLC with the internship side quest.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you for having me. Got it.
Oh, what the hell, dude?
What the hell, dude?
What did I do?
What?
Yes. Yeah.
It's good news. Yeah, and again, thank you so much, Nicko, for
Yeah,
being
thanks.
on, and thanks to the guys Saveb4quitting for commenting, and Rias, always a pleasure. All
And
right.
Chatter, of course. Our
That's
love,
right.
always right here.
Always in our hearts.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me, and me and the crew. I'm pretty sure we're gonna enjoy it going forward, and then we'll probably work together someday.
Absolutely.
It'll be really
Yeah.
cool.
Can't wait.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. You're gonna delete this episode, right?
We weren't recording. This video's got to end on a One Piece. It's a one-liner because they're shitty.
Oh.
I wish I had the end
wait,
life
wait.
button.
Wait. There's one more thing though.
Okay.
So if did we delete it?
No.
So we're not deleting.
No.
We weren't filming.
So you're remembering what we gotta do every time, right?
Yeah.
It's save before quitting.
Oh, damn. That's it. We're done.
That's
we
it.
Have to. We gotta go.
You are the true
Oh.
master here, and
Oh.
I think, yeah.
Yeah. That was.
Take it
Yeah.
easy.
Good night.